it's the Rossum Vegan Gal here, and today is not a product review, it's actually going to be a topic. And the topic for today that I'll be discussing is called breathing. Air is free, is it healthy? So why is this something to talk about? Because we all have to breathe. If we don't breathe, we're not alive. So that's very important. We need to get oxygen into our body because that helps our body stay alive. If for some reason we don't get any oxygen to our brain after a certain period of time, the brain cells start to break down and we could lose consciousness because we're not getting the oxygen to our brain, which is very important. So therefore, when we breathe, we take in oxygen, and when we breathe out, we dispel the carbon dioxide. So it's not just about breathing, it's about how we're breathing. So that's very important that we breathe properly. So that's why it's so important that if you notice people, if you watch them, if you're sitting somewhere and you could watch them, you could see how they're breathing. Most people breathe very shallow. They breathe from this area where you're supposed to breathe really from this area. Breathe in, take a really full breath, and breathe out. And you need to do exercises like that. But also, if you can maintain that on a regular basis where you're breathing deeper, not just at the time when you do a breathing exercise. So that's very important to realize. Now, it so happens that the Hippocrates Health Institute, I will have a link to their website below this video. They come out with a magazine, usually quarterly. It's called Healing Our World. Here is the current issue, and it's called, the topic is Air, the Invisible Key to Healing. And you can go on their site and you could actually read the digital copy, or you can also order the magazine. Can be sent to you directly, and I'll give you that phone number right now. You can call. It's 561-471-0136, extension 2105, and I will put that below as well. So if you want to order this magazine, you can get it for free. They'll ship it anywhere for free. And if you're also someone who has the ability to distribute them, or knows places that you can give them to that will distribute them, then they'll send you a box of them for free, no charge. There's no charge at all. They want to get out this information to the public, and they've got great articles here. And every month, or I shouldn't say every month, every quarter, they do a different topic or discuss different things. So they're very interesting. So it so happens that that's the issue that I'm reading right now. So when I say air is free, is it healthy? That's a big issue in our world today because there's so much unhealthful air based on different products that are used both inside and outside, and our ozone layer is getting depleted because of that. One of the things that I dislike that affects our air so much is those gasoline-powered leaf blowers. I just get so annoyed by them because all they're doing is they're just blowing all the stuff that's on the ground into the air, so you're contaminating the air more, and then it's giving off a smell, this gasoline smell, which isn't good to breathe in either. So it's causing that to also filtrate into the air as well. Where years ago you just use a broom and a dustpan, and or depending on the area, you need something bigger than just a little dustpan. But it's ridiculous because it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't help at all. And so that really bothers me. The other thing about our air, too, is the biggest issue is the methane from cows. So the best thing we can do to actually help our planet actually get the ozone layer to come back and protect us, because that's what the ozone layer does. It protects us from the rays that are harmful to us, is by eating less animal products or giving up animal products at all. They say that if the whole population of the world, which is what, like 7 billion people, would stop eating animal products completely in just a very short time, I think it's within months, the ozone layer can actually start getting back to where it's supposed to be, which is amazing. It would not be depleted, it would actually be healed, so to speak. So that's a pretty amazing concept to think about that. And I wish that would happen, but it's not. Unfortunately, the meat and the dairy, all the the businesses that have so much money they put into their campaigns, and people keep buying their products and they're in the stores. But people don't realize that that's the biggest thing that can be done. People say, oh, well, I'll drive, a hybrid car, and I'll do this or that, whatever, recycle, different things they think are helping. And yes, they have a very small, limited amount, but on a larger scale, it's the animal products. That would totally change things much more drastically and much more quickly. So, but what are things you can do for yourself? Because the problem is we want to increase the oxygen in our blood, and we want to breathe healthier air. So the idea is try to get out to places that have healthier air, getting out of the city, going places where you have a park, where there's a breeze, where go to the ocean. The ocean has the negative ions. You breathe in the air from the ocean. That's really good. Houseplants. There are different houseplants that will help get rid of toxins that are in the air based on also what you're using in your house. Don't forget, a lot of people don't use the best household cleaning products, and I do have a video that I talk about that, about different products. It's called about masquerading. That's why I have something, I don't remember the exact title. Are you still using, I think it's like, are you still using this? Then I'll have to masquerade. It's talking about, different household products to eliminate. So what it is when you're using those products, you're breathing all that stuff in. People don't realize it. And plus, a lot of people have sick homes. Why? Because they're keeping everything closed. The idea is crack a window open. Even if you live in a place where it's cold in the wintertime, crack it just an inch, even if you use heat, just because the air inside a home most likely is more toxic, more filled with chemicals than the outside air, which, from carbon monoxide, from the cars, different things, it's still healthier because there's still air circulating. So that's what we don't realize. So it's the household cleaning products, also the furniture, some things outgas or paint, different things are causing that. So houseplants can help, things like a fern. Boston Fern is one of the best. There's the ivy. There's different plants that have good benefit. Actually, in the magazine, I could tell you right now what the magazine says that are specific plants. They say actually wheatgrass is the best purifying air plant. Then Boston Fern, aloe vera, the dwarf pygmy date palm, the English ivy, and the golden pothos. So those are the ones that they talk about in this issue of the magazine. So those are things that you could do. Another thing you could do is you can get an air purifier, and that helps as well. And there's also talk about it in this magazine. And and the household cleaning products, yes, you should try to change them. There's better quality ones like 7th Generation. There's other one, Ecos. There's a bunch of them that are really good. BioClean. There's quite a few out there, and I'll put some links below this video as well for options for companies that sell better products you could use, because some of them are quasi better but not so good. Like people think certain ones are good, like Mrs. Meyer's and stuff from Trader Joe's. A lot of them, I smell them. I read ingredients too, so I know a lot of the ingredients are not what they say they are. And then some of them have a strong smell because they use some natural antibacterials, but some aren't. They just put fragrance on their label, and that's like a no-no. If you see fragrance on any label, they don't tell you what it is, do not buy it. The other thing you may want to do, if you want to know, is write down their phone number if they have it, or their website, and contact them and say, why do you just list fragrance? If it's essential oil you use, why don't you list that? Because fragrance is very misleading, and you don't want, fragrances are most of the time made up of chemicals, so you do not want to spray those around your house, and then again, you're breathing it in. Your lungs take in everything. So that's very important. Another thing is filtering your water, filtering your shower is very important. It's actually more important than your kitchen drinking water, because you're breathing in all the chemicals that come out of the water when you're taking a shower. And also don't forget, the pores of your skin are open from the water, from the warm water or hot water that you're dispensing from the shower head, and then that's going right into your bloodstream because the pores are open. So that's another way that you're affecting your lungs. So you have to really pay attention to that. That's very important, that we do certain of these things to try to help make it better. And trees are so important. It's very sad because in the rainforests in like South America, the trees, all the rainforests are getting destroyed and they're depleting them. And what's so important about trees is that it's a whole ecosystem. A tree is not just a tree. You know, a tree provides shade, it provides the oxygen, it provides food, it provides shelter, it provides medicinal properties from the plant that are used for healing. So there's so many aspects of why a tree is important, and we forget that. And you know, not myself, but I'm talking about these populations that all they're into is the money and the greed and the power, and they clear cut these rainforests to make room for their big businesses, and in the meantime they're causing a lot of harm to the whole ecosystem. And trees are so important. It's amazing when it's a hot day, and it could be, the temperature can be really hot outside when you're standing in the sun, but when you go under a tree, a really good thick tree that has lots of, you know, branches and leaves, and it's really full, you go under that, it could be 10 degrees cooler under there, and you'll feel really good. So that's pretty amazing that a tree can do that for someone. It just provides that. So it has many important aspects to it that we need to remember. So planting more trees is actually better. If you have a home where you live and you can plant more trees, and the best thing to do is don't just plant a tree, plant a fruit tree, because then you're not only getting the oxygen and the shade and providing food for yourself as well. It's pretty amazing. Like, people just plant trees, and I think we should all be planting fruit trees everywhere we can. And if you can't do it, get one that you can have in a pot. You know, if you can't plant one in your ground, or it's too much effort or time or whatever, then that's another way. And then you can have nourishment as well as providing other important factors. So those are things that are very important. And breathing, do deep breathing exercise. Anytime you can remember to do some deep breathing, whenever you can think about it, that's going to really help your body get healthier, because you're adding more oxygen. And when there's oxygen flowing throughout your system, you know, disease and illness can't be around that, because there's oxygen. It's aerobic. When you create more an aerobic system, then things like that can't thrive in the body, because you're oxygenating the cells in the blood. So it just gets healthier. So anytime even you feel like you're maybe low in energy, it's a good idea to do some deep breathing. And there's many different cycles, but the one I've used in the past is, like, I do my own breathing cycle where I breathe in through my nose, deep breathing from the abdominal area, and then breathe up the chest, and then you do a count for, I believe it was count for 7, hold for 10, then out for 7 and hold for 10. So breathe in for 7, and always through the nose. Other people do things where they do through the mouth, but I do through the nose. And you can do cycles like that. Let's say, put on a timer, try it out for 5 minutes, and then do it maybe once or twice a day, and then try to increase it. So breathe in for 7, hold for 10, breathe out for 7, hold for 10. I believe that was a cycle. I'm not exactly sure if that was, but you can do that, or double. Breathe in for 7, hold for 14 might be too hard. So breathe in for 7, hold for 10, breathe out for 7, hold for 10. Again, and you keep repeating that, and try it, and you'll see your body will feel a lot different, because you're adding that. You know, and again, if you could do something like that by the ocean, that's even better. So that would be a good way to do it. So remember, we have to breathe to live. Breathing is our most important thing. We need air, we need oxygen, because that's nourishment that our brain can't live without. So we can live without food, and we can live without water for a while, but we can't live without oxygen. That's number one. We have to do that. So remember some of these things I brought up, and try to see what you can do to make yourself healthier by breathing properly, breathing deeper, providing a better environment for your breathing in your household. Outside you maybe can't do as much, but at least interior, try to do as much as you can to make your home a better place for healing and health. This is the Rawesome Vegan Gal.